الله تعالى رضا بعمر.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا إذ لولا أن هدانا الله ما كنا لنهتدي نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى من اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It is indeed a pleasure, alhamdulillah, to be here, to be able to talk to some of my Muslim brothers today. People who, in Islam, alhamdulillah, brotherhood we know is something that precedes, or Iman is something that precedes normal brotherhood. And I am indeed very happy to be able to talk to my Muslim brothers today. People come from various backgrounds, myself, the brothers here. Not only backgrounds in terms of religion, but in backgrounds in terms of race or ethnic background, whether it's Caucasian, or whatever group that is, whether he's Asian, or whatever group that is, or whether he's African. Alhamdulillah, who has blessed us and guided us to Islam. Just to try to stick to the point, our brother here has introduced myself as being from a Hindu background. Most people are brought up to believe in the existence of a God. As the Prophet ﷺ said, that every person is born on the fitrah. He's born naturally believing in the existence of a God. Not any God, but in the belief of Islam, the one and only God. Any person when he's confronted, he normally says, "Oh God," he doesn't say, and he turns to the heavens always, is by the fitrah to do this. The God, or he always points to God when he's speaking into the heavens, and he always speaks about the one creator, the one God. But as I probably explained in that hadith, but it is parents, even though the child is born naturally to believe this, it is their parents that make them either a Christian, because you were brought up in a Christian home, so you become a Christian. Or you're brought up in a Jewish home, so you're Jewish. Or you're brought up in a Magian's home, or a pagan, the idol worshippers, the idolaters, so you're idolater. Alhamdulillah, I have to say alhamdulillah, I was brought up in one of these homes where I was taught that I'm a Hindu by birth, and so you die a Hindu as you were born a Hindu. When I choose to become a Muslim, they used to say to me, goats don't become sheep. So you were born a Hindu and you remain a Hindu, no matter what you say, what you do. But the Prophet ﷺ was told us that it's not like this. It's the fitrah to believe in the one God. However, throughout my life, until the age of 18 years, I practiced Hinduism profoundly, and all the tenets of it, and all the beliefs of it. And at the age of 18, when they used to have the same thing that we've seen here today, Islamic week, Christian week, Hindu week, stuff like that, there was once a debate where these three religions were debating against each other. It was at this debate, at the set time being the Amir, or the leader of the Hindu committee, that was exposed to what real Christianity is and what real Islam is. Or rather, what I learned from that is what really and truly Hinduism was, the thing which I believed. You see, here we speak English language because you're brought up in an English country, like I said to you, and so English is your language. You didn't choose to be English. You didn't choose to make English your language. I was brought up in a Hindu home. I didn't choose to be a Hindu. Many Christians are brought up in Christian homes. They didn't choose to be Christians. But you're brought up dogmatically to accept this, and this is what I did. And I was arrogant in the way I professed Hinduism, and think that this is the haqq. This is the only haqq there is, the only truth there could ever be. Because this is what you're taught, and everybody believes this. But seldom do we go back to our books. And this is what happened to me in those debates. When brothers, the Christians and the Muslims attacked me from every angle, I realized there and then that I'd been a blind follower of my religion. I only know rituals that was taught to me from my parents, and it was handed down from ages before. Just handed down. Even though the books are there, it's getting dust in the house. They're the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, and all the rest of the books. But we don't really read them much. Even though I did a little browsing through for the sake of the debate. Just to quote the thing that I want to quote from the text to support what I believe in. But I never critically analyzed it. At these debates, when these things were said to me, things offensive about Islam, about the faith that I believed then, Hinduism then, idolatry, that is the worship of many gods, shirk, and all of these funny things. When the brothers were saying to me, how can you worship so many gods? And I was saying, are you crazy? Why not? This was the attitude. This is the attitude of a Hindu. That's why it's difficult for you to get to a Hindu. The thing we call shirk, the thing which we attack, we attack everyone about, they make fools of us. And they say to you, why not? And this is the thing, because you'll be brought up to believe this. However, after that debate, I decided it was time to really study the books of Hinduism. I spent the next year and a half, almost 2 years, studying the Hinduism from their texts. I read everything there was to be read in English language. I couldn't read any other language. I was satisfied that what I was reading was authentic according to their belief, because everybody testified that these are the authentic books of the Hindus. And among the discrepancies and contradictions and paganism and Nancy stories, as we say back home, that was contained in this was atrocious. I could not believe that in the 20th century, a university student, a college student at the time, would be believing such a thing. I didn't know that these are things I believed in anyway. Just to mention one of the points of the things that really was turning off. One of the major beliefs of Hinduism is the belief in a god called Rama. Rama is their major god, one of their major gods. The story of Rama goes that he was banished in exile. Try to trace the story. Him and his brother and his wife. One day the demon, in according to the Hindu language, is called Ravan. He's supposed to be like the big shaitan as we know him. He wanted to get the wife of Rama. So he took one of his so-called followers, this is according to their texts, and he made him into a nice, beautiful deer. And the deer went by the home of Rama, and his wife saw this deer. And she said she wanted the deer. So Rama, he sensed there was something wrong. Remember, Rama is their god. The Hindus believe that gods are they reincarnate, and they come at different times. Alright? And they believe Rama was the incarnation of God at the time on the face of the earth. Same thing like Christianity somewhat. Our brother will talk about that, inshallah. This Hindu god, Rama, is the supreme and divine God in the incarnation. He went after the deer, but he realized and sensed that something was wrong. He drew 3 lines in the door, at the door of his hut. And he said to his wife, do not cross these lines no matter what. And he went off to chase the deer with his arrow and bow to shoot it. As he went, this saint came, a person dressed as a saint and a sage, a hermit, in the famous Hindu tales. And he comes and he begs water of Rama's